Looks like it's working.
Okay, this is not going to be a very fun stream. It's
Looks like it's working.
it's essentially a look back at the October 7th genocide by Hamas through the eyes of Matt Tardio, who has seen the unedited video. So it's probably not going to be very entertaining. I just want to let you guys know. But it is what it is, and we should get going right into it. And I'm going to hand it over to Matt.
I don't even know, honestly, where to begin or how to even explain telling you what it was that I now get to sit here and bear witness to for you. Son of a bee. You better be on. My microphone's not working. I'm going to be very upset. Good. Okay, we're good. I just did an audio check. We're going. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good to see you guys. It's good. You have to excuse me. It's not the regular setup, but I wanted to make sure that I'm coming in here and giving you guys kind of an update on some of the things that I've seen since I've been here. I've got to talk to. I don't want to say this. I've been speaking with some high-level Israeli authorities. I had the chance to get some good inside information that I'm not going to be able to disclose to you, unfortunately. But what I wanted to come in here as this will make the audio a lot better. Now you guys can probably hear me a lot better. I'll just move the mic up for you audio deniers. How's that? Screw the left. Yeah, I'm with you on the screw the left for you audio. Okay, so I had the ability to be able to watch the unedited October 7th videos that have not been released to the public. It's about an hour long. And I will tell you that I asked some very specific questions. As a matter of fact, I'm almost going to go grab my notes and bring them back over here because the amount of crap that ended up coming that has been thrown around about this. I'm telling you that there is things that are documented that have been said publicly that people are trying to claim did not happen. So I'm here to almost bear like personal witness and give you like my personal testimony. The people that have seen them, such as myself, have signed non-disclosure agreements. And let me tell you, it's disgusting. I asked whether or not I could specifically speak as to what it was that I saw in the videos. And what I saw, ladies and gentlemen, was absolutely atrocious. Multiple beheadings that took place. We'll start there, which is, I mean, for me, I've seen a lot of things in my day. It takes a lot to shock me. There's no allegedly here when it goes down to anything blue. I hate to tell you, there's just zero alleged when it comes down to it. That information exists. And I've got some other stuff. Hold on. Stuff that, people want to pretend like didn't happen. And I think one of the biggest things that they claim did not take place, for example, is rape. So I'm waiting to get some of this information back. Specifically, another huge rumor before I go in. I'll tell you that today I got to watch somebody with a crew serve weapon mounted on top of a truck gun down people running through an open field, which when I say people, obviously I'm talking about the terrorist Hamas and what they ended up doing. I asked for specific numbers because I think you guys want to know this. I'm tired of hearing rounded figures. And so I wanted to bring you guys some rounded figures. 289 soldiers, 58 police, 6 ISA, and 806 civilians. 806 civilians. Now, the way they will try to spin this crap is saying the NDA, I can't show you the videos. I can't show you any of those things. I can't show it to you. I can talk to you about some of the things that I saw. And the reason that they do that is out of respect for those families, right? So out of respect for the family, they are not really, and I understand now why. Understand now why. Guys, like some of these things, I don't even know if this got done to me, if I would want my family to have to see that online. Like picture Charlie Kirk's family having to relive that. What happened to Charlie is absolutely horrible. What happened to Charlie Kirk is absolutely horrible. But I wouldn't want a video of my child that was shot laying in a bed at 5 to 8 years old, estimated. Numerous, by the way, which I saw, laying in their bed in like tiny little kid pajamas being put on the internet and being spread around for the groypers and everybody else. I would not want to see my son's head being cut off and carried away like a trophy being put on video. I wouldn't want to see my son and daughter murdered inside of a vehicle that were just parked there, have somebody literally drag their body out of the vehicle. I've given more respect to wildlife after I've shot it and brought it home for food than what some of these monsters did. And then to rifle through their pockets for random things, dig through their refrigerators, eat their food, all while doing all of this crap, and then celebrating in the name of Allah literally the entire time. When I tell you I saw stacks of bodies of civilians, like Israeli civilians, that were trapped inside of a bomb shelter, that went in there to seek refuge, that they literally, I mean, you want to talk about replicating the Holocaust? This would be a good way to describe it. The literal, like, people 3 feet high, laying down, 3 feet high. 2 to 3 feet high, stacked tall. Just blasted with AK rounds, wall to wall, stacked bodies. And them dragging. And I don't know if this man is alive or dead, to be honest with you. I was almost a little bit shocked. Dragging a particular hostage at the time, like, out of there. And that's not a propaganda tour, infected mushroom, at all. Bye. I'm just not going to tolerate it today after seeing what I saw. That's not propaganda. And if it is propaganda, it was filmed by Hamas. I'll tell you that much. I got to see a video of somebody hiding inside of a outhouse at the Nova Music Festival that was filming. It was literally captured from both sides, one from the Hamas terrorists and the other one from the person that was inside, that was hiding from them. And then you see the aftermath of that as they were going down and shooting all of the outhouses. First responder shows up looking for anybody alive and shouting out, trying to find anybody alive. Just getting answered back with silence. Also got to see, you know, that newly released video that they came out with about the father that hid the children inside of the bunker, and Hamas comes over the wall and chucks a grenade in there? I got to see the second half of that video too. Equally disturbing. After watching that, like actually seeing it, I saw people, and this is Hamas video, a Hamas video, with their bodies stacked in the back of a pickup truck. Some living, some not, thrown in the back. A young man that was being taken hostage by Hamas that jumped out of a truck that they then gunned down. This is probably one of the most grotesque incidents that I've ever seen. Now, I'll remind you, I've got to see and hear stories of what ISIS did to people when we were liberating them from ISIS control. Got to see that. Literally got to see what that was all about. Compares nothing to what these monsters did. I promise you, what's been publicly released, what's actually out there, what's been publicly released, doesn't hold a candle. And it's weird, I see somebody using the term mirroring. You guys remember how they were accusing Israel of tying Gaza civilians' hands up, although all of their hands were tied in the front with very loose clothing as if they were being buried. They were accusing Israel of doing that over inside Gaza. So Hamas was taking these people and they were cuffing them as they were pulling them out of the different kibbutzim, right? And they're cuffing them. Yes, there was burnt babies and burnt people that were involved. That is real, Carl. That's real. They were cuffing people like they wanted to take them back. And I can't tell you why they didn't. Only in this case, they were cuffing them behind the back. So they were cuffing these people from behind their back. And they had them all lined up. And I'm assuming they didn't have enough room to transport a lot of these other bodies back. I will read these chats in a second as soon as I finish this train of thought. And what they ended up doing was executing them all. Now, it'd be one thing if they just, and even this is horrible to say, it'd be one thing if they just shot them in the back of the head. I noticed other things from the different things that I've seen, done, whatever. I happen to notice some other things. And one of the things that I happened to notice wasn't like it was a standard execution. Every time that they shot somebody, not every time, but a lot of the time that they were gathered around, they shot someone, other people would turn around, other terrorists would turn around, and they would join in on the party and continue to desecrate the bodies. And when I say desecrate the bodies, I mean desecrate the bodies. If you have ever seen, oh man, what was the name of it? It was a documentary about Afghanistan. And why can I not remember it? Restrepo. If you've ever seen the documentary Restrepo, there's one of the guys that gets killed, one of the U.S. service members that gets killed. He got their position got overran by the Taliban, and they had shot his face in. They had emptied an entire mag into his face to the point where you couldn't make it out. These monsters literally were emptying mags into people's faces on October 7th to the point they were unrecognizable. So the woman's body being paraded and desecrated, that's one. That's one. That is one. This is worse than any serial killing. This is worse than anything. They had 3 separate waves that broke through that day. 3 separate waves that broke through. They had entire control of this road that kind of runs up and down the Gaza envelope, like on the Israeli side. Any vehicle that was traveling down that road was getting lit up. These terrorists were literally driving back and forth on these roads, expanding further out. And any vehicle they came across, they would just light up. There's a video of people fleeing from the Nova Music Festival that these guys took from a route. And you have Hamas terrorists lined up on the side of the dang road. And they are just gunning them down as they're running through a field. You guys have seen that video about this young female that was being chased from the Nova Festival. It's out there, like it's public, like it's in the public eye. It's like a surveillance video. It shows her like running across the open and this terrorist like chasing after her. And she ends up getting on her knees. And she's just sitting there, like she's sitting there on her knees, looking up at this Hamas fighter right in front before he ends up executing her. About 5 minutes before that, I mean, they had literally, her and her friends had literally just arrived. As they're walking towards the festival. And they hear a gunshot and they freeze. And then you can see rounds skipping from the street and they dive for cover. And then realize that they have to continue they have to leave. And so they start to run. What wasn't shown in that short clip that's out there online is that animal that killed her was clearly went from trying to shoot them, because at first they were shooting at them, but went to a full dead-on sprint. And I have no idea what this woman said to him, but bless her soul. Seriously. Soul Vibe Meditation asks, why don't they show the people? Because these videos are so horrendous. I mean, so horrendous. Honestly, I think if those videos existed, Gaza wouldn't exist right now. I really don't. I don't think Gaza would exist right now. And you hear a lot of talk about Hamas, and it was Hamas that committed these atrocities. But like I said, 3 different waves that they're reporting that ended up coming through. And those last two was a lot of people. A lot of people. If it was up to me, these videos would be shown on every single college campus in America that has a pro-Palestinian protest. I would force any professor that tries to stand up for them to sit there and watch this crap. I don't think they could. I really don't. That was like one of those things where I'm like praying in my mind, like, allow me to watch this without getting sick so I could sit here and testify to you guys what I saw. That was probably one of the most horrendous things I've ever seen. And it's not propaganda. Again, these are surveillance footage, Hamas recordings that they broadcasted or that they were saving on their phones or phones that they took from victims. I literally watched them stealing phones from victims. Like after they killed them, going through being like, nice shiny new phone, put it in their pocket. It is hands down at the most disturbing crap I've ever seen. If they weren't taken hostage, they were killed. The only video of anybody that I saw spared was the one that the IDF just released. They are trying to use that video and say, you see, Hamas doesn't kill the children. That's a lie. I'm telling you right now, that's a lie. I'm telling you right now, I saw murdered children. I saw burnt babies. I saw burnt human beings. I saw beheaded human beings. I saw kids. Not military-aged males, kids. Some laying in their own bed, some on the floor, some with their bodies stacked with their parents. It is so much horror, guys. I could talk about this for an hour, and I don't think I would be able to explain to you probably the most disgusting aspect of the entire thing that nobody, I think, has talked about. The most disgusting aspect about this entire thing that nobody talks about is the Hamas fighters and the Palestinians themselves, on how normal this was for them. And when I say normal, I mean normal. Like you picture a Ted Bundy or any of these serial killers, right? But not just happy, but celebrating. And it wasn't like it was just one, it was a lot. It was a lot of celebration. Like they celebrated a lot. And not just the Palestinians and Hamas fighters that crossed the border on October 7th, but the civilians in the street of Gaza. I saw a body get pulled out of a vehicle. I saw a body get pulled out of a vehicle and a crowd gather around it and stomp on faces. Mods, if I see you deleting people during this, I'm straight kicking him the hell out of here. Like, I'm just throwing that out here. Like, they are not speaking on this channel ever again. Literally stomping on faces afterwards. see what we have hanging out in the comment section out of curiosity. Tristan Allen says, what is up? God bless, screw the left. I can go with that. Colin, member of 38 months. John says, we love and support you, Matt. Keep speaking the truth. I will continue to do that. Tristan Allen, you are sick in the head to say Israel committed October 7th. That's not true. Not true. Amit says, was it really wise for your mental health to see it right after seeing what happened to Charlie? Yes, it was. And I'll tell you why, because God gave me the strength to be able to see those things and be perfectly okay. I don't think that most people on this planet, truthfully, would be able to see that stuff and be able to sleep. I'm still gonna be able to sleep tonight. Dew Central says, thanks for going over there and reporting the truth. Welcome, I'm not done yet. Swamp Cleaner, praying that you stay safe, Matt. Thank you. Goodman, take some time for your sanity and well-being. Always, man. There's such a thing as too much for even you. I would agree. Leech Shake says, welcome to Israel, Matt. Thank you for everything. Thank you very much. Audrey came in. Audrey came in, gifting out 5 Speak the Truth memberships. I really appreciate that. I really do. At the Nova Music Festival, 75% of the victims were under the age of 25. In total, from what they found, 364 civilians at Nova were killed. That was probably one of the most disturbing. I'd love to tell you that Nova was, like, I wouldn't love to tell you any of this, to be perfectly honest with you. I honestly don't know which scene was more horrific that I saw today, but probably for the sake of humanity, I would say that the most grotesque thing out of all of it wasn't even the armed terrorists that were doing this. It was the people inside of Gaza openly celebrating it, dragging on bodies, spitting on bodies. And when I say people, by the way, when I say people, I mean young children were doing this alongside their parents. I mean, fathers, listen to the words out of my mouth. Fathers took their children to go see dead Jews, and not all of them were Jews, by the way. Fathers took their children to go beat and spit on bodies and praise God. I gotta say that again. Fathers took their young children to go beat, spit on bodies, and praise God for that. Now, these are the same people, by the way, those people that did that. And it's not just one or two. It wasn't just a couple hundred here. Thousands. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people inside of Gaza did that. Not one or two, thousands. The fact that Israel has not wiped that entire place off the map is appalling to me after watching that. One of the biggest concerns that I voiced today I don't know how to say this. One of the biggest concerns that I voiced today is what happens with the Palestinian people in Gaza following all of this. What do? We all know Israel has been shaping Gaza City, hasn't really gone in on the ground yet and actually started laying the hammer down, right? So you're doing your shaping operations going into Gaza City. But when all of that is said and done, And God willing, they get every single one of these hostages back. I'm telling you, man, first responder, you ain't seen this. Even like, I mean, picture the worst mass shooting in the United States. Doesn't even come close to this. Not even close. So for anybody to sit here, and by the way, this is a stone's throw away from where I'm at. How the hell do you live with that waiting on the other side of your border? That's just sitting there. And the answer is you don't. There's not a single American that would accept that inside Mexico. There's not a single American that would accept that from Canada. Hell, we went to war for 20 years because someone flew a couple airplanes into our buildings, right? Horrible attack. And I look at this like right after 9/11 and what just happened there. And it absolutely disgusts me that we can have a global war on terror for as long as we did. And then our ally in the Middle East that is being, that had one of the most horrendous freaking things that I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some shit. I've seen some real shit in my day. How you ignore that is beyond me. I've asked about the rape kits being done. People are saying that rape didn't exist. Yes, it did. Rape happened. Rape kits were done on bodies. Rape kits were turned into the UN. I'm waiting on figures from the PAO to get me exact numbers of said rape kits right now. That was done. Report actually got published back in June. Nobody even knows about it. I haven't even had a chance to read it yet. Demonic doesn't begin to explain this. This is what happens when you leave radical Islam unchecked. And I think probably the craziest thing, I think before any president of any world leader, before any world leader decides to let these people into their country, they need to watch what I just watched. I actually think they need to watch it twice before they ever think about subjecting their civilians to those people. All fine and dandy. We're giving them food, sending them in water. Definitely not turning the other cheek, not turning a blind eye. I heard a story from somebody that interrogated a 19-year-old Hamas terrorist that got captured that day. And I think it's pertinent, and I think you should listen to it. And what they told this guy, yeah, I'm over here right now. And I'm going to have more stuff coming at you in a little bit. When they took this terrorist in for interrogation, and this guy's talking to him, he's like, dude, why would you fight? Why would you go in there the way that you did, knowing that you might die, that you're going to get outnumbered, etc.? did you actually think that you were going to take over all of Israel? Like, did you really think that this was a possibility for you? And the answer is no. He didn't think it was going to be a possibility for him to actually go and frickin' take over all of Israel. They knew they weren't going to succeed. They were well aware of that. His response was, but if I get martyred, think about all the glory. Yeah, Gaza was okay. Gaza was okay. It's not a bad place. Gaza's okay. But if I die, if I get killed fighting today, killing Jews, if I get killed going after and taking out the Jews, then I have all of this glory for me waiting up in heaven, basically, the mind frame. How do you allow that to intermingle with Western society? That's a very tough question that nobody's asked so far. How do you allow that to intermingle with Western society? Egypt's not letting them in for a reason. They haven't opened their dang border for a reason. No, you don't. A death cult doesn't begin to explain it. You know, you say that there's a different word for it. This is a different level of evil. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you, but it is a different level of evil. You know, you picture death cult people that just value death, that maybe they'll go and they'll have like some sort of a cult while they're all like suicide themselves one day. This isn't a death cult. This is what I saw. That was a genocide. That was an attempted genocide. Their goal was to kill every human they came across that they weren't going to take back to use for leverage, every hostage they took. And the leaders were trying to stop. I heard a Hamas commander I don't know if I can actually say this one. No, I know for years they're screaming Hamas equals ISIS. I'm telling you, what I saw is a hell of a lot different than my experience with ISIS. So what I'm saying is this is 10 times different. This is worse. This is worse than ISIS. What these people did is worse than ISIS. And it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense when you look at how they're raised, what they're taught, where everything's at. Worse than ISIS. You're giving ISIS a bad name by calling them Hamas. You're downgrading Hamas by comparing them to ISIS. Did I say that like clear enough? You are downgrading Hamas by saying that they are ISIS. They are worse than ISIS. The Islamic State ain't got nothing on Hamas. I'll say it again. The Islamic State don't have nothing on Hamas. And when I think about the crap that I've seen in my military career, what I've seen people do, knowing that their ideology is worse than ISIS, knowing that their ideology is 10 times worse than the Taliban, knowing their ideology is worse, I mean, way more radical. Like Nazis weren't this bad. Nazis are bad. They were exterminating. These guys were loving every minute of their torture. It is probably there is nothing that compares to the evil that exists within inside the Gaza Strip that has been manifesting in there for decades. Pure evil. There is no other way to describe it. Nothing. Terrorist factory. I don't even think you should be allowed to call them terrorists. There should be a new word made for these pieces of crap. This is the October 7th video. This is the one you sign a piece of paper to that says, I won't disclose. I'll help protect the family. I won't give this stuff out unless it's been released. I can talk about these things. I can describe and I can tell you guys how evil it is. But out of respect for families and so on and so forth, right? These are some of the most evil people on this planet, and I don't think you have a freaking clue until you see it. I thought I would understand how evil these people were, but you don't. Barbecuing people in vehicles. Literally lighting vehicles on fire with bodies inside of them. You want to know something else that I've seen, since I've been here, which kind of blows my mind as well? Over inside Israel, I've seen, and it makes perfect sense now, and hopefully I get some time to go out and actually investigate this crap in general. Antifa signs, Antifa tags. I've seen 3 of them now, 3 different Antifa spray paint tags on the sides of buildings and stuff like that here. And so that stupid ideology has now made it over here as well. And so now it makes me wonder, which I have to find the time to go do this because I have a pretty stacked schedule. I might actually be extending for a little bit, and you guys will be very excited for that. Trust me on that. I might be getting granted some permission I've been waiting a long time for. You don't get to do what you did and not have the repercussions. This is something I've been saying for a very long time, is that when you leave these people unchecked, when you see what pure evil is actually capable of. Mr. Steele was in Ukraine in 22, saw how evil humans can be. Russians, Bucha, right? This is a whole other level, man. This was a whole other level, man. This crap doesn't need to exist on this earth. And there's a very real question, because as moral human beings, we think that we can take this population that has normalized grabbing their children to gather in the streets and spit and beat on bodies that are literally being dragged out of vehicles. Yes, Israel does have a loony left, but we think that we can normalize. Like anybody that thinks that you're going to take these people and actually normalize them, you're smoking. I don't know what you're on, man, but let me get some of it. Actually, don't. Because that means my children's lives are going to be in danger, everybody else. I know I told you guys, like Macron opened up his borders and then immediately shut them down. France's borders are no longer open to these people for a reason. I also got shown something today, and I encouraged them encouraged them to make a declassified version of this and provide the overhead imagery, along with a couple other things. I really hope they do. I hope they take that and I hope they declassify a portion and actually show different portions of this. There's certain things that are going on within there that need to be shown, right? And this wasn't a political one, and I'm not going to give out names or ranks of other people that I am here with. So this was very different, I think, than a lot of people normally get. And I don't know what the actual answer is. The only thing that I get, like in my mind, and how you solve this problem is God flooded the earth for a reason, you know? I don't know how else to say that, ladies and gentlemen. That is evil in its purest form, and there is no other coming back from that. And that has been ingrained in people. And just like you can't convince people, just like you can't convince people of certain things because they've bought into a lie for so long, don't give Nazis a bad name like that. Palestinians are worse. Reflection is a beautiful way of saying it. Australia has a loony left. Yeah, I was talking to Ozzy, actually. They do have a loony left. Reflection is a really good word to use. The people I saw cuffed and murdered, the Israeli civilians I saw cuffed and murdered, I'm not going to describe age or genders because I don't want to do that to families. But holy hell. And in case you missed it, earlier on, I definitely testified to an entire freaking bunker full of civilians, bodies stacked, solid 2 to 3 feet high, almost a meter high. I'm going to go ahead and take a break because I need one, but I wanted to come and give you guys an update on that. I'm obviously not going to be announcing what I'm going to be doing. For security purposes, right? I'm not going to be announcing what I'm doing, but I will be doing my best. I am taking plenty of B-roll. I will be putting together a complete story about the different things that I saw and the different people that I talked to for you guys. I will not be able to go live tomorrow at the same time, but I wanted to come in and go live for you guys today. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get some more stuff for y'all. I have a very tight timeline that I'm adhering to right now. So I'm going to do my best. If you guys see me go live, check it out because there's probably something going down, all right? But I appreciate every single one of you. It's an honor to be able to be here and be this voice, as always. I might extend my trip. Put that out there. As soon as if I get approval, I'm extending my trip, and you guys will understand why. So, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm too lazy to make a thumbnail for this video because I'm just leaving where it's at. This is probably some of the most raw testimony I've given on this whole thing, guys. Do me a favor, you guys, do me a favor. Share this video. Seriously. You take this video and you share this video. This should be one of the most widely viewed, widely shared videos in existence. This ought to be. I wish I could show you what I saw today. I wish I could show you what I saw today. Share this video. You take it, clip it, do whatever you want with it. I don't care. Share this video, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. Anyways, so peace, love, happiness, and God bless. All right. I'm out of here for now.
There are no innocents in Gaza save for the hostages. I have nothing further to add at this time. Thank you for watching.